Hello, thanks for watching this video. My name is Michael Shackleton and I run Art by Shackleton. I've in the past done some videos, time-lapse videos of my artworks, and generally I've just put music over the tops of those videos. I thought I'd step out of my comfort zone, get my face on the camera and start talking over the top of the artworks that I've been doing and explaining a little bit about the processes that I use for making those artworks. So this is my very first attempt at doing that, at presenting myself in front of a camera on YouTube. So for this first time round I thought I'd do two things. I thought I would talk about the materials that I've used in the time-lapse that I'll show, and then I'll show that time-lapse, and through it I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing as the time-lapse progresses. So in terms of materials, the main thing I use is soft charcoal for these sorts of artworks anyway. And the soft charcoal that I use is Nitram charcoal. This comes in 4 grades. There's H, HB, B and the soft charcoal, and I really like using the soft charcoal. It comes in this yellow packet, and the thing I love about soft charcoal is that you can lay it down, and if you make a mistake you can just smudge it out or erase it out very easily. You can get your paper back to white if you're working on paper. So I use that a lot, and then I tend to go over the top of that charcoal with something that's not as easy to erase out, and that's the compressed charcoal, and I use this to get really dark areas in my work. This is a General's charcoal, a lot harder. I tend to work with 6B in the compressed charcoal. So they're the two charcoals I mostly work with, but I do also use charcoal pencils if I'm doing some fine line work. And I've got my go-to pencils at the moment are Derwent medium black charcoal, a General's, this is HB hard charcoal, and I use that one quite a bit. And then I've also got a white charcoal that I use occasionally just to put in some highlights if needed, so that's a Derwent white. The other thing I use is a blending stub, and this is just a roll of paper that's tapered, and you can see I've used it quite a bit. It's just used for blending out areas of charcoal, so you can grade from one tone of charcoal into the next really easy. Great piece of equipment, that one. I have a kneadable eraser. This thing's indispensable. There's two good things about using a kneadable eraser. The first one is obviously that you can erase the marks that you make if you've made an incorrect mark on the paper, but more importantly, once you've got a charcoal base down, you can cut into that charcoal and it brings out some highlights. So if you want to get some highlights in your charcoal, cutting it back with a kneadable eraser is a great way to do that. Lastly, and I just want to touch on this one because I might make a video about this later on and talk about some techniques for using it, but this is a proportional divider, and I use this for double checking the proportions in my artworks. When I'm using a photo reference, this thing comes in handy, and what I tend to do is lay down some lines, and then I'll double check that where I've put those lines is correct by using the proportional divider. So they're the main tools that are used in this next video that I'll show, and we'll just step into that now. Okay, thank you. So you can see here I'm sketching in the first lines and putting in some of the shadows, and I'm really using that soft charcoal, and I'm checking my proportions and where the lines are with the proportional divider. So I tend to put down a line or a few lines, and then I'll check that they're in the right position with that proportional divider. You can see here that early on I've gotten the eyes in the wrong position, and I'm just correcting them, and you can see how easy it is just to smudge out that soft charcoal and put in new eyes where they should be. Here I'm going in again with the compressed charcoal, and that just brings a bit more depth to the picture. It makes those darks really dark. For the hair, I like to put a good layer of charcoal down, and then I'll go over it with the compressed charcoal and smudge that in a bit, and then once that's down, I like to cut into it with a kneadable eraser, and that really brings out the highlights of the areas where light's reflecting off the hair, and it gives it a lot more depth. I love the stage where I put the flyaway hairs into the hair. It really gives that hair some character. And here's my finished piece. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed making it. I'm going to do more of these videos in the future, and depending on the comments I get, I'll either talk over the top of them or not. We'll see how this video is received, and if it's received well, then I'll continue talking about the processes of how I'm making my artworks. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of when I'm putting new videos out. Once again, thank you for watching.